I do think that there are a lot of people, maybe even the majority, who are being played by the game, and they're there, as you mentioned earlier, and I talk about in the book, to influence, manipulate, and oppress um, those that have the potential to override the program with consciousness. Because it seems to me that it's the consciousness caught in the illusion that generates maximum power in this louche energy of low vibrational emotion and mental states. That's that's what they're really after. That power, because to an extent, if you think about it, this divine spark that we have within us, which is our connection, often very silent in this ridiculous, nonsensical realm we're in. But it's this divine spark that is our connection to the infinite self. And so, in a way, this inverted consciousness, going under all these different names in religions and ancient societies, is feeding off that energy via us. But it's feeding off it it's feeding off its power in a low vibrational state, caused by the emotional and mental experiences that are set up on purpose in this reality. And I do think that so many things that happen in this world that are not the result of an intervention of consciousness are actually happening because the matrix is encoded to make them happen. And so when you look at this cult, which is kind of overseeing the manipulation of humanity and heading towards ever greater dystopia, it's basically riding a wave of information and encoded information that is making this happen anyway. They're just kind of overseeing it. It's in the fabric of the matrix that this stuff is happening. Now we can decode that information into a holographic experience, and that's what we'll do if we are non-player characters without the intervention of consciousness. Or consciousness can override the program and override that encoded event in the simulation if we are opening ourselves to that level of awareness. And you know, this is a very important point, and it's another very important point of why they don't want people to know this. If you bring something into a state of consciousness, then its power over you is massively, in the end, totally deleted. And you can see this in a very, very simple experiment. I've used in the books 2 or 3 times over the years a subliminal image, and it's just a few flowers, about 4 flowers, plants. And you say to people, there's a subliminal message in this image. Can you see it? Now, about 95% or more won't see it. And then you point it out. And in this subliminal image, the white space between the plants, the flowers, reads the word sex. Now, this is the point. Once you've pointed it out where the subliminal is, every time, and I mean every time, like 20 years hence, people see that image again, the subliminal is the first thing they see. The first thing they see. Why? Because it's been taken out of the subconscious, subliminal, below threshold, and it's been brought into the conscious mind. Conscious awareness. Now, that subliminal is not subconsciously manipulating you anymore because you're consciously aware of it. And this is the so important, vital, bottom line reason that this information about all that we've talked about today, my God, we've got some stuff, um, uh, is known by people, because once it becomes conscious, you lose its power over you, and you see it for what it is. This myopia of the hijacked alternative media is to stop you doing that. And let me just say this to clarify. Some of these people have come out of the mainstream and have taken over the alternative media mainstream focus, will know exactly what they're doing and why. Most of them won't. But how do you make someone a controlled opposition without knowing they're controlled opposition? Simple. You identify people who have say a love of money, because my God, there's so much money in that central area of the alternative media now, unbelievably so. We've just seen the exposure of people on $100,000 a week, apparently from Russian sources, some of them. That's the kind of money you're talking about. It's phenomenal. And so if you're attracted by that, you'll be attracted in there. You're looking for people who do not have the knowledge and the range of knowledge and the range of research that can see beyond where you want people to look, and you just promote the hell out of them. You promote them algorithmically, you promote them financially, and you promote them in terms of giving them every stage that you possibly can. And they will go on doing what they believe in ignorance that they're actually being played like a stringed instrument. And then
those are the best ones. Those are the best gophers for.
Yeah, because they don't know they're gophers. Yeah. They think they're exposing the deep state. Well, they might be, but the deep state's about that big compared with actually what we need to know. And the reason that they are not banned from YouTube and they're not banned from countries, but I am. The reason that I've been excluded by those people, they won't even interview me. I mean, when you've done 35 years of research and you were ahead of the curve, and it was basically you and a few others, the others long gone now, almost all of them anyway, just a few disparate individuals long before there was ever an alternative media who were doing this stuff. You would, if you're a Joe Rogan or a Tucker Carlson, you'd say, well, we need to talk to this guy, see what he knows. But they don't. They refuse to do so because there's a reason for it. The same reason.
Do you think they refuse or they're not allowed to?
Well, it could be either. It could be either. But don't tell me, Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, that you're fighting the system if you're allowing the system to tell you you're going to bloody interview. And by the way, if you, like Joe Rogan, are on a contract with Spotify and your stuff is played on YouTube and everywhere else of $250 million, don't tell me you're a threat to the system. Who do you think's paying you that money? It's the system.
Wait, you're saying Elon Musk is not fighting the system? The officially richest man in the world with all these government contracts is not fighting the system?
No, I'm sorry, mate. I've got to disappoint you. He's not. No, but I mean, just let's take him for a quick one. I could talk for hours on him. I was tracking him long before he bought Twitter X because his companies were ticking every box of the cult agenda and the World Economic Forum agenda. The World Economic Forum being an asset of this global cult. And he's doing it with, I mean, he was pushing the green car, so-called green car, electric car agenda with Tesla. He's doing the connecting computers to an AI to the human brain through Neuralink. And crucially, he's putting up low orbit satellites through SpaceX, which are beaming an electromagnetic field at the planet, which is getting bigger and bigger and more extensive all the time. He's already got thousands and thousands of low orbit satellites, and the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC in the United States, has given him permission for tens of thousands more. And others are doing it, but SpaceX is really the driver. And this electromagnetic field, what they call the cloud, and that is designed to be the hive mind of humanity. Therefore, if you can get graphene oxide into the brain, then you're going to rewire the way that the brain processes information. And the other impact, there are many, but this is another impact of graphene oxide, is that it amplifies the impact of electromagnetic fields inside the body. So if you come into contact with an electromagnetic field, say the cloud, then its impact will be greatly magnified by the graphene oxide. And the idea is that perceptions and thought patterns and emotional reactions are fed through this cloud, this technologically generated electromagnetic field, to the receiver, the self-replicating nanotechnology in the body, and it basically becomes the human mind. So when Ray Kurzweil at Google said years ago now that by 2030, the AI will be connected to the human brain, and from that moment, that connection, AI will do more and more of human thinking until human thinking is negligible, i.e. deleted eventually. That is how they're doing it. And, Elon Musk's role often is not being at the cutting edge of technology, it's selling a concept. And what he's doing with Neuralink, which is light years back, I mean, that take a bit of your skull away to put bloody wires in your brain. He's selling a concept, even though he's way off the pace. And interestingly, he was interviewed and he was asked an obvious question. Well, you say, all these people are going to, have Neuralink connected to their brains, but who's going to want a piece of their skull taken away to do this, And he said, oh, you might not have to do it that way, he said. You might be able to go in through the veins. And that's exactly what they're already doing. Elon Musk, in the pre-Twitter X era, was being called out by some members of the alternative media, including myself, my goodness, for running these companies that were ticking all the boxes of the cult agenda. And the moment he bought Twitter X and let a few people back, although shadow banning like crazy those who were saying what the system doesn't want people to hear, it all stopped. And he became a god. And now he's being brought
Literally.
into Trump administration, potentially. There was a researcher called Eva Vlandingerbroek, a Dutch researcher, who in 2022 did a speech, quite right, saying that Elon Musk is not your friend. He's pushing us towards transhumanism, and within a few months or a year at most, she's drooling all over him and no longer calling him out. And all he's done is well, not just him, a lot of people like out of Qatar and Saudi Arabia, who of course love free speech, bought Twitter X, and he was the front man. And of course, his CEO at Twitter X is Linda Yaccarino, who's a stalwart of the World Economic Forum of Klaus Schwab. I mean, have a look around, and what's happening around Trump as we speak is that he's surrounded by these AI people. Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel has funded J.D. Vance's, his running mate's, political career. J.D. Vance is a business associate of Peter Thiel. Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a venture capitalist and a Trump sycophant, is a business associate of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is the co-founder of Palantir, which provides surveillance and other technology for the Pentagon and the intelligence network, including the CIA. And he's on the steering committee of the Bilderberg Group, which is, quote, globalist and has been working since 1954 to impose this centralized dystopia. His fellow co-founder of Palantir, Alex Karp, is on the steering committee of the Bilderberg Group. And these are the people around Trump. And we're supposed to think that Trump is the savior.
Just your regular anti-system rebels there, right? That's how they usually look like.
Yeah. And what it is, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is that if you tell people what they want to hear, then I did, then the door is swinging open. And what Trump and this mob are doing is telling their natural constituency what they want to hear. And those natural constituency are those people that don't want this dystopian world. I mean, the wokers that follow Harris are basically pushovers and even demand it. But the Trump supporters overwhelmingly don't want it. And so what you've had, and this is, again, it's all about perceptual manipulation. If you want to get people to behave in a certain way, then you've got to get them to perceive in a certain way because one follows the other. And so you've had these what I call pushbackers that don't want this dystopia, this AI dystopia, and somehow they've got to be brought on board. So what you've had are two approaches. There's the hard sell, there for people that are the pushovers. This is the Klaus Schwabs and the Bill Gateses and the Ray Kurzweils who are saying that we'll be connected to artificial intelligence and we'll become gods and it will be fantastic. And then you've got the soft sell, and the soft sell is being led by Elon Musk. You'll remember that he said some time ago that AI could be the end of humanity. But he's gone on promoting AI ever since. He's now got a company doing that very thing. Another one. And the soft sell is from Musk. We are looking at the inevitability of an AI takeover. And we're not, because actually it's decisions made by humans that allow these things like low orbit satellites to make this possible. But we are facing this inevitability. And if we don't fuse with artificial intelligence as it becomes more intelligent than we are, then humanity will die out. So we've got to do it. And so you look at the outcome of the hard sell, humans are fused with AI, and you see the outcome of the soft sell, humans are fused with AI. But it's a different sales pitch to the same end. And it is amazing. We were chatting about this before. When COVID struck, I remember, first of all, there were very few people protesting. They weren't protest marches like I'd been on, back in the day against war and stuff. They were spiritual experiences. You had all these people of different colors, creeds, beliefs, who had come together in unity against a common threat. And at that point, you thought, we got a chance here. We got a chance of taking this on and healing these divisions, not necessarily changing people's belief systems, because they're a right to believe what they like, but to put down the fault lines that divide people, because there was no division in those in those marches, hundreds of thousands of people from every walk of life, and it was incredible unity, a joyous occasion. And then it was quite remarkable to see how fast so many of them could revert to default position, and the unity became political division, religious division, and so on. And that's what has happened, because you see,